Stanley's Comikaze 2014. This is the 4th year of the show. We're going to be taking you all around the floor, checking out things like cosplay, panels, vendors, all the usual stuff that we do in our conventions. We'll have a longer discussion about all this on our podcast, so check us out on iTunes or Stitcher, Parks and Cons. That being said, we expect a lot of great things from the show. We've been here really since the very beginning. If you did check out our podcast, you know we talked a little bit about kind of our history with Comikaze Expo. Before there ever was a Stanley attached to it, big fans. We've loved watching them grow and feel like we've kind of grown what we do alongside them, and so we're really looking forward to checking out what they have this weekend. Some big stars here. You know, they've been really good, again, a different type of clientele. They really do focus on the pop culture element of the conventions, not to leave comics behind. A lot of fun stuff in that area as well, but we're going to check out things. Elvira's here, Howie Mandel, a bunch of the Game of Thrones actors, True Blood, Mad TV's having a reunion. So some big panels on the Hot Topic main stage and just some big signings out in the Autograph Alley area too. We're going to go inside, take a look at some things, and see what we can find. Alright, so we're going to take a look around the Comikaze floor. One thing that Comikaze has been known from, I'd say from day one, is a lot of kind of build-up from the local community. So not that any show doesn't attract local vendors, but I think there's a strong presence of a lot of the people from Frank and Son that we see week to week as we go there. But on top of that, we've seen several that we see out like shows like at Phoenix, up north, things like that. It seems like it's definitely attracting more and more. One thing we've noticed is a lot of kind of unique, kind of one-off things. A lot of handmade jewelry, a lot of you know, necklaces, bracelets, prints. Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy, a big thing right now. In addition, we've got a lot of the nice kind of vendors. We have Boom right over here. We have Big Hero 6 has kind of a big display going on and some interactive experiences there as well. Top Cow's back over here. A lot of fun stuff there. Tons of different types of dealers as well that we can find. So we'll wrap up more and we do under the con, but let's go take a look at some of these booths right now.
I feel like this life. Nothing but that. Like you would not speak to your
Sure, nothing already took off. Oh yeah, yeah.
So we're here in the kind of center of Comikaze here, and way off in the background there is the Hot Topic main stage. Wanted to kind of shoot it from here because even from this distance you can kind of hear, actually right now is the Mad TV reunion panel going on. Comikaze has done a really good job over the years of bringing really unique type of programming. Something like the Mad TV reunion panel, just a little bit earlier was the first time they brought all the My Little Pony voice actresses together to do a panel, very cool. Then some really timely stuff, Constantine, all the writers, some executive producers were here, True Blood had a panel, Game of Thrones had a panel, so a really nice combination of, you know, big time Hollywood type stuff, and at the same time some of this, you know, reunions. Battlestar Galactica also had a 10-year reunion panel today, so a lot of fun. I really like it, the fact that there's no lining up. It is standing. It'd be nice if there's some chairs and things like that. Now, there are a handful. There's like, I don't know, 15, 20 chairs, but for the most part, it's a standing room only thing. But it's really nice because you can be on the floor, be over here shopping, doing your thing, and then just wander over and be part of the panels. And again, some really unique, fun stuff this year for sure. So definitely let's show you a couple quick clips from some of the panels this weekend.
Come back later.
Oh, well, that's got to be a first, I got to tell you. So forget your question anyway. What is something you guys have always wanted to do in life? Aside from acting, what is something you've always wanted to do in life?
I've done everything. I'm not going to leave this earth unhappy.
Just look at me. I've been up in the mountains since the last time you saw me. I've been up there creating my little cabin and doing it. And I got to tell you, it's a real honor and privilege to be here for Stan Lee. Let me tell you that.
So when you guys first read the scripts, when you first auditioned, did you have any idea that early what you were in for?
Well, my story is obviously different than Eddie's because I actually read the script for the miniseries because I was auditioning for the part of Apollo that Jamie Bamber obviously got. Oh, there's no Jamie, but Jamie was going to be sitting right there. So I remember reading the script, and at some point, I had a journal or in a notebook someplace, I wrote down that I think I just read the single best script for television I've ever read, or film ever. And I took note of it, and then, as time went by, Jamie got the part, and you fall out and you forget about it. And then a year and a half or so later, season 2 came along, and they asked me to come read for this character named Anders. And I was meant to show up for 2 episodes. Thank you. And surprisingly, 2 episodes became 3 seasons. So.
When you were first approached to do My Little Pony, what was the first reaction?
Can I go first? Okay. Well, Lauren Faust, who you guys know is the creator, and I worked with her on a little show called Powerpuff Girls, and I like that one. Anyway, she actually came to my house, and she grew up loving the ponies and playing with them, and she actually had all these magical worlds that she created for her pony toys, and always wanted to bring that to life. And actually, the show is her world that she created as a little girl. It's really beautiful. And she said, would you help me sell the sizzle? And I read Twilight and I think Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash, or I don't know. What's one other of those?
Fluttershy. Who yelled that?
Honestly, I can't remember. But anyways, that's how I got the show. And then, of course, I was ecstatic because I also played with ponies. Yay, Candy. Okay, next.
Okay, next. Well, for us, I think all 3 of us, Lauren didn't come to our houses.
Why not?
I don't know.
She's not very nice.
I know. It was an audition, so just kind of like a lot of roles. You go in and you give it a try. I was really excited because I grew up with My Little Pony. I've always loved My Little Pony.
Me too.
And I was just trying to contain myself.
And you always do the thing with the pony, like, My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Exactly. Were you there?
I was doing it this morning. I was like, My Little Pony.
Awesome. Yeah, and then I was lucky enough to get a part on the show, which was awesome.
2 parts.
Yeah, 2 parts.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same as Andrea. We're around the same age. We grew up with My Little Pony, playing with them. My sisters and I would go on. Yeah, we created little worlds in our rooms, and yeah, I was thrilled to get parts on the show. And who knew that it was going to be like this would happen? This was never in our minds at any point. So.
And well, now I've been around for 3 generations is a thing. But it started out for me, I was in Australia studying hopping mice, and they had accepted me as part of their gang, had given me their gang colors, and I was wearing the headband. And at night, I used to sneak away to Ayers Rock and stand on the mountain and do my moves, and a little chop socky of my own devising. And one day the Hasbro helicopter flew overhead, and they said, "That is our rarity," and I went, okay.
Oh my gosh!
Somebody come over here and pick me up. Oh God. Oh God. Ah, there we go. Okay. Never gonna ask somebody to do that again. Can I get a booyah?
Wait, hold up. I gotta give props to Starfire.
Waffles, 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 waffles.
The lyrics are really hard to learn.
Yes. My daughter literally said nothing but waffles in the entire day. It was crazy.
All right, so we are outside. We're kind of in the lobby area of the LA Convention Center here outside the Comikaze exhibit hall. I want to do a quick little thing on cosplay, because although cosplay is becoming a bigger thing at all the conventions, I would say one thing that we're seeing here, part of it might be LA Convention Center. Definitely a big part of it is what Comikaze does to kind of nurture that environment. Is cosplay is really crazy this year, meaning in a really good way. Tons of costumes. I'd say more than we've seen maybe this entire year, which this is our 40th convention. So there's been periods of time today that have just been shooting like literally a half hour, an hour of just nothing but cosplay. And so although I always like cosplay, I don't think it's ever sucked me in quite the way it has here. Some really elaborate group cosplay scenes. One of the things the stairs are really great for here is you see all sorts of shoots throughout the day where there's big DC, Marvel type cosplays and things like that. And so down here in the lobby, not that there's not cosplay throughout the convention center, because there is, but this lobby really brings them all in here, and it becomes a great backdrop for shooting things. So let's take a little look at some of the cosplay we found.
Piece of camera. He's gonna go home going, a Megazord attack. Yeah,
That's awesome. Nice job. Very cool.
All they know is a splash. That's all it would do.
Hey, don't speak my leaves. Get out of here. Go get him, Stubble. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. That's awesome. Give that person a high five.
Actually, they should be jumping around it. This was good. Push him in the balls. Tell me Mario's back on board. It's not here yet.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Drink real quick.
Hold on.
Take one step down.
Don't fall over. Don't fall over. Oh, okay.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Hold it. Use your abs. Center your core. There you go.
All right, we are wrapping up here at Stanley's Comikaze 2014. This is our Under the Con segment. If you've never watched our videos before, Under the Con is where we go under the hood of the convention, usually in a parking garage underneath the convention. This time we're adjacent to the convention, but we're gonna go under the hood, talk a little bit about the show. So we had a really good time. Hopefully our footage showed you a little bit of what to expect from from Stanley's Comikaze Expo. If you're looking at for next year, or maybe you just missed some things this year, definitely check out our podcast on our iTunes or Stitcher, Parks and Cons, because we'll go into a lot more detail, much larger conversation than what the YouTube channel gives us. That being said, wanted to hit on a couple things. One thing, lots of local vendors there, so lots of kind of picking up newer toys and stuff like that. So the Pulp Fiction figures from Funko, some DC collectible figures. Again, because there's a lot of the dealers that are at Frank and Sensitive Industry, we kind of just picked up a lot of our normal haul of types of things that we'd be looking for in the new toy scene. A lot of guys that treat us really well there, give us good deals, things like that. There's a really good presence, and we go into more detail about this again on the podcast, but just a kind of unique one-off, or not necessarily one-off, I guess, but just unique jewelry and things like that. So Carmel picked up these Guardians of the Galaxy necklaces, and then some Star Wars, some obscure stuff. They had FX7, Wicket, fun things like that. It really felt like the convention focused in a lot on not just having kind of the comic bins and the toys, which they had a lot of that as well, but there's a lot of just kind of unique, lots of vendors that really seem to cater towards female clients, which is cool to see. Carmel enjoyed that. Lots of, whatever it was, hair products, necklaces, rings, jewelry of sorts, all things like that. A lot of places that were just selling female only shirts, or if they were selling both gender, or if they were selling male shirts, they also had female as well. So that was kind of nice to see, a bit of a unique thing. So again, all the conventions we go to, that's not something we really talk too much about, the idea of kind of focusing specifically in on a specific subsection there like that. One nice thing that they've done over the last couple years is really focusing in on developing relationships with companies. So Hot Topic has been a big one, to put together like the pop vinyls and things like that with Funko. Obviously Smile and Stam, the Garbage Pail Kid print, so we picked those up. Last year Mattel was here. They have the Standor, He-Man type figure. Picked up a couple of the shirts, Comikaze Expo shirts. Lots of exclusives that are very specific to the con, maybe more so than others, where it really kind of helps with that brand promotion. I think having Stan Lee obviously is about the most marketable guy you can get in comics these days, or maybe any days, and so they really do a good job of kind of merging that relationship with a variety of other businesses and kind of expanding and getting the name out there, and good job with that. They really want to focus in on comics this year. It was unfortunate Brian Michael Bendis was not able to attend, but that said, still a bunch of good comic talent there with Liefeld, obviously Jim Lee, DC, Stanley being the biggest of those names and stuff. But it seemed like that brought a lot of comic vendors. You know, one of the things Carmel and I, in kind of the home stretch of the convention, we're talking about is just how many comic vendors there were there, and we just kept coming across them more and more. Some local guys, some that we weren't familiar with, which is odd. Again, attending 40 conventions this year to find a comic vendor that we're not super familiar with is really, really odd. So we picked up a handful of books there. Didn't do a ton of comic shopping. That's more about where we're at in terms of having too big of a collection than it is about anything here. There was a lot of options there, all the way from 50-cent bins to wall books. Good you know, offering there. One thing I want to talk about, we did not partake in any of the autograph hunting, but there was a lot of great autographs there. We obviously talked in our prep stuff about, you know, the talent that was there and the stars, and so you have your John Barrowman, obviously. You've got your, you know, the My Little Pony panel, the Teen Titans Go group there, the Game of Thrones actors, True Blood actors. You know, they did a good job of theming it up and bringing in cast. They've really kind of focused in on the reunion thing. I'd say that's one of the things Comikaze has become known for, is kind of the reunion panels. They did a great job with that. So even though we weren't kind of autograph hunting because we've either got most everybody we need or we're just kind of on hiatus on some of those things because our collection is getting so vast, it was a really cool thing. The lines looked busy, you know, a lot of people selling autographs, and then again, kind of the theming in those areas. You should have seen the video, you know, like Elvira having her whole Mistress of the Dark kind of area. Obviously Stanley has the museum, so it's kind of taking that autograph experience and making it slightly more immersive, slightly more almost like its own themed attraction going into our otherworld theme parks, and making it more of an experience than just kind of standing in a random line and getting to the front of kind of an anonymous booth. Not to say there wasn't that part as well, but there was, you know, those extra areas. Throughout the floor, you saw a lot of unique things. You know, is one of the things we talked about with Stanley's Comikaze. They really focus on making it a big experience and not just a standard convention. So they are unapologetic about the focus on pop culture. You know, they brought comics in really heavy this year, but it's a focus on pop culture. But they have things like the Spider-Man basketball thing going on, all the movie props, the cars to take pictures with, the video game arcade, you know, the vintage arcade right in the center, or not center, but kind of almost center of the floor. You know, all these things that you can kind of take part in, get involved in, that aren't just the standard up and down the aisles buying things. So lots of fun there. So looking forward to 2015, hoping maybe there's a one-day Comikaze Expo somewhere in the future someday, but either way, looking forward to 2015. And so until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.